Well, considering of what my last year 2019 October schedule was like, don't actually expect this schedule to be any more better than last year's. I know I might remember the fact that I want to make next year an improvement, but at the same time, October just isn't really the month for me, considering Halloween isn't one of my favorite holidays of the year. Not to mention that some of the Halloween episodes that I'm gonna be reviewing this month isn't really dedicated to Halloween episodes. Day and Phantom Fight Night may be taking place in Halloween, but it's not an actual Halloween episode. Same goes to Hannah Montana. But I'm just gonna point this out right now that I'm just saving multiple Halloween specials and episodes for next year, even if it's long overdue. The fact that it's gonna be a bit late for me to actually talk about those episodes. But considering I'm getting to new cartoons, which is something that I'm gonna be reviewing for the following year of 2021, I think it will probably be an improvement, and I might be able to do something interesting for next year's 2021 October schedule, hopefully. But anyway, here are my videos I'm gonna be uploading for my October schedule. Victoria's Tori the Zombie, Hannah Montana Torn Between Two Hannahs, Foster's Home from an Actually Friends, Nightmare on Wilson Way, Day Phantom Fight Night, SpongeBob Golf Out, Fours, We Bear Bear's Charlie's Halloween Thing. These, as much as I really think that I could have added more reviews into this when it comes to Halloween, I really didn't know what else to review. I didn't know what else I can actually do when it comes to uploading Halloween material for this month. I know some of these videos I'm gonna say of how I'm gonna be interested into Halloween and stuff like that for how these episodes delivered, but at the same time, it's just me because whenever I watch some of these episodes, I usually get a good impression for the most. I'm just gonna get into some of the videos onto why I'm making a review out of them, which is the Hannah Montana one. It's been a year since I last talked about Halloween, Hannah Montana, and to be quite honest, even though that the Hannah Montana marathon was a mistake, I still enjoy Hannah Montana. Granted, I don't watch the show right now because I'm burned out of it, but at the same time, I still think that I should probably make a review of the Halloween episode so I can actually express what I actually feel about two Hannahs. One who is the original Miley Stewart, and the other is just basically her cousin or stuff like that. Yeah, I made a video of this review last month, and I barely remembered the characters' names, but that just really goes to show how much I barely watch these episodes again. Foster's Nightmare on Wilson Way. The reason why I didn't review the Halloween special of last year is because this Halloween special is actually bad. Yeah, I consider this probably one of the worst Halloween specials I've ever seen. But you're gonna have to find that out once I upload that video once it's ready. Next is Day and Phantom Fight Night. I really didn't do much involving Day and Phantom, so I decided to review the Fight Night episode since that's taking place on Halloween. Yes, it's not really a Halloween episode, but still. SpongeBob Golf Out Fours, if I actually spell the G word right. I know some of you guys are really upset at the fact that I'm not reviewing the SpongeBob stop motion Halloween special, but let's be honest. I'm really getting sick of watching SpongeBob constantly, and the only episodes I'm mostly familiar with is the pre-movie and post-movie era. I barely even looked at the sequel post era or whatever you call it, because at this point I just want to move on to different things. And considering how bad SpongeBob is gonna be when it comes to Camp Cola, the Patrick spinoff series, and all that kind of stuff, it really goes to show that Nickelodeon can't be able to save themselves without SpongeBob. It's been 21 years, and at this point I'm really starting to be convinced that Nickelodeon is just desperate for something to actually stay relevant, despite the fact that they keep having SpongeBob keep going and going and going. Yes, I am aware that cartoons can last forever in some other capacity, but still. And the last Halloween review that I'm gonna be wrapping up is We Bear Bear's Charlie's Halloween thing. During the time of this recording, I barely watch We Bear Bear's episodes. I mean, as of now, I'm getting close to finishing the 4th season by the time of this recording. But by the recording of this, I still have less interest into watching the We Bear Bears series. Granted, right now I am, but during this recording, I wasn't. I know I completely skipped Victoria's Toy the Zombie, but that was actually a review that I was planning to do somewhere in the last 3 years, and I'm actually kind of thankful that I'm actually going to be reviewing this for my October schedule. But anyway, let's continue on with my list of videos. My Little Pony Generation 5 Predictions, the war between the old and reformed changelings. I'm just going to say right now that when it comes to my ideas involving Generation 5, this is probably the least, and when this video is uploaded, don't expect it to be really extraordinary or really interesting, because I actually tried to think of some other alternative ways of how the changelings should return in Generation 5 if Hasbro is going to have returning species from Generation 4 to Generation 5, but at the same time, I don't know if all the species from Generation 4 would return in Generation 5, because this is pretty much one of the least videos I had the least knowledge of making. The reason why I made this video is because I actually think that I actually want to see the changelings return, but with a twist by having the old and reformed changelings actually exist in the same land, but far away from each other while preparing war. Granted, it is going to be a lot more complicated, but still. Anyway, the rest of the videos are just L fanfigurines, and these were the fanfigurines that I made in June of this year. Yes, I'm not kidding. These videos are 3 to 4 months old. Really goes to show that I was saving these videos, and by the time I was making these videos, I was slowly losing my interest into writing fanfics and stuff like that. And I gotta say, it really goes to show that making these videos ahead of time is probably the best decision. Anyway, Truth or Dare. This is a Legend of Everfree fanfic that was made from a user who isn't active anymore on If I Am Fiction. And the reason why I made this video is because I want to do a celebration of Equestria Girls' Legend of Everfree since it was premiered 4 years ago. And even though that I kind of picked different ideas, I have already did a fanfic of Princess Twilight going to Camp Everfree, which was 4 chapters, and at this point, I really don't think that finding a different fanfic would probably be a better choice to replace with this one. Next is, Since When Did Your Dog Become a HeyTuber? If you remember last year, somewhere in June or May or July, I uploaded a video of how of my fanfic of Sonic Fan 05's Since When Did Your Dog Become a Rapper? Yeah. This is the same guy who wrote that fanfic along with when Rainbow Dash and Applejack head to Twilight's office. I did have some ideas if I wanted to do the next Spike story from him where he actually becomes part of Trixie's magic debt, but I'm not sure. Mainly the fact that that fanfic is way longer, is actually longer than this one, and considering that I actually want to keep my videos a minimum when it comes to fanfic readings and other stuff, 2021 is going to be a really different year when it comes to my content. Granted, there might be slight improvements that could happen, but still. Next is the day every pony's heads were blown to smithereens. This is a fanfic that I was actually crazily interested to reading, mainly the fact that it actually involves Adam Blaze and Lane and Luster Dawn completely working together to go to Manhattan and just trying to stop something that's causing a lot of chaos. I don't know why I got the idea on trying to actually make a fanfic video out of this, but at the same time, just by looking at it, it had so much interest to actually see two different characters that I haven't met actually work together in some other capacity. Granted, it is weird and it's honestly something that people don't usually expect, but hey, FIM fiction has a ton of stories that has bizarre pairings and weird ways to actually continue the story forward in order to make it its own thing. But at the same time, this fanfic was just a pain for me to read through because there are so much different words and I had a difficult time with just stopping them. Seriously, you have no idea how painful it is to actually completely get to understand all these words and the punctuations in order to make this fanfic reading at least tolerable to sit through. That really goes to show how much I really don't usually want to do fanfic readings that much, and I'm actually kind of thankful that once we reach to the new year, a lot is going to be changing in my schedule. But we're going to get to that once we get to the end of this year when I upload my July 2021 schedule, but it's still too early to discuss that. The final video, which is a fanfic reading, is Same by Holly. Holly is one of the most popular fanfic writers in FIM fiction, and I actually wanted to do a fanfic reading of one of her stories for at least once, and the one I picked the most is this one. Well, Indagio is just drinking coffee or hot chocolate in order to actually find herself a purpose in the world that she's stuck in. There's really nothing else I can actually say about this other than I wanted to do a fanfic reading involving Harley's stories, so I actually happy that I managed to do this fanfic reading before I actually get burned out. Well, not really burned out, but mostly exhausted for all the time I did by making these videos. Okay, that's basically all 11 of my videos, and there was something I need to address before I wrap up this video. Besides the Generation 5 video, my reviews, and my L fanfic readings are going to be the final videos while I use my iPad. The reason why is because my iPad charger port is mostly broken. Sometimes it works, but at the same time, it just doesn't function properly. And the fact that I want to actually keep my iPad in some other way, but I don't want to make videos off of my iPad anymore because I don't want to keep doing the constant redundancy of just plugging my iPad in a different position while also just completely being concerned on just using the battery power for making videos and just using all that progress. You may notice that the videos, including this one, my voice is completely different. Well, that's because I'm actually using my MacBook Pro computer for making videos. Which means that next month in December and pretty much for the rest, for a while, I'm probably gonna be using my laptop to make videos from now on. Yeah, my iPad that I've been using since day one has finally come to an end. It's been a tough 4 years, but at the same time, some things just has to come to an end in some other way. So yeah, that's basically all I have to say. 11 videos isn't as much as September's schedule, but I'm really sorry. I'm just not interested into Halloween. I know I said earlier that I might be able to do something interesting for next year, but at the same time, I still don't know for sure. Anyway, I'm Lonely Fanboy 4 here, and I'll see you guys in October.